All 5 of Spurs' pre-season fixtures, including Antonio Candreva and Roberto Gagliardini coming back in. Here we go then. Can Spurs make the statement they are hoping for in front of their the second day of September? Spurs making good ground through Lamela before Lucas Moura takes over, takes on Skriniar and scores!
It is. Moura's 1v1 v the inter-defender.
Before Lucas Moura takes over. There's Esposito. He did well to win it and deliver dangerously. Perisic to have a hit.
And how competitive and how strong they will be.
Here comes Spurs with Sissoko. Kick-off is not the case in Serie A. Here's Danny Rose. Organise that wall. It will be Harry Kane, and he knew from the intent to wave it on and to still have it, and they advance dangerously. That's going to be pulled back. Esposito. Danny League or Europa League game when he made his debut against Eintracht Frankfurt last season. He's won the free kick. Sensi takes it. Is behind the primary list of targets. Candreva will try and return it. The new coach in charge. Inside foray forward once more. It was there to be hit. Brilliant effort. Equalising goal.
Got to be careful, Tottenham, in terms of how much space they're giving around that 10 area. But here comes Harry Kane, Tottenham's own 10.
Well, he looked like everybody else forward for it. It will be Eric Lamela to take it. Kane was his initial target. Sanchez's scrap. Now Lamela.
Brilliant play.
Opens up for him because of that. And Brozovic had to get. He's risen to the challenge so far this summer as Lamela. Now Sissoko taking over. Lucas Moura in the middle. Working it wide here for Esposito. For Inter before continuing his run. Danny Rose had to be out him. Here he is again, taking the ball from Walker-Peters and delivering into against PSG last week. And Walker-Peters again had covered good ground before Harry Kane takes over. He did have Lucas that much closer to the start of the season. Now Inter have worked this wonderfully well, and here is the opening for the equaliser. It is taken brilliantly. Well, he's made a real difference.
The floor, that is a goal of the highest quality, it really is. And Inter Milan are back in this game.
Dompele. And still, he's done well to win that, even better to charge forward with it. Just
a lot expected of Dompele this season. And
well, Lucas Moura's won it back. Peters. Lucas Moura, the man who started the scoring ahead of him. This is Sissoko. There's Danny Rose, and still away from Candreva. He's looking for Lucas Moura. De Vrij got it to run at the end of the half. Which might be the last action for many of these players today. Walker-Peters cut out.
This one is.
And he gets it back from Sensi.
He needs to work on in terms of reading situations better. That he doesn't just.
So here we go for the second half then. It is Inter in their change kit.
Player on all day, and here's another one on the right hand side.
In towards Dalbert, but it's too close. Candreva. It goes towards Sensi. He's picking up the pieces. Finding Perisic. Squaring up to Alderweireld. Came forward from the back. De Vrij, Skriniar. Obvious targets here. Did well initially. Dalbert with a really good ball forward. Politano trying to make the most of it. Danny Rose trying to get back to him, and does get back to him and comes away. His team got it at the other end here. They have a couple to try and pick out in the middle. Perisic didn't quite connect with the spectacular.
It's been competitive, yeah. Mistake here though.
Handanovic giving it away to Eriksson. Tees it up for Eric Lamela. And Perisic is the target. He's going to get there just ahead of Alderweireld. Ivan Perisic. He's got a fair few to aim for. It's a wicked ball in. Hits
Sanchez here now.
Yeah, 3 for Spurs, including in goal. But a huge ovation for last year's Player of the Year for Spurs. As he didn't quite get that far. De Vrij will try and maintain possession for them. First involvement really for Heung-min Son. And now Son.
Going to be any sources of admirers for him.
The Son, intelligent run.
What a ball!
Oh, it's a brilliant ball, and there just wasn't quick
to it. And in his defence, you can't expect such a quality ball.
Sensi. A well-timed ball into the path, or at least the ball flight, heavily involved since his introduction. Sensi takes over and works the 1-2. Couldn't quite pick his way through this time. Politano. It is there to be struck. Barella. Politano will get there in awkwardly, but Evanson Sanchez. It's waiting to come on after this corner kick. Which is cleared away by Lucas. To surge into. Support arriving as well. As Son goes through the gears. It's still with Heung-min Son.
He's recognised he's up against DeMarco. A forward by trade. Works it on.
Come on, have ventured straight into the middle. The ball hasn't yet though.
By trade, so they may well look at that.
There's Son. Eriksson just lost his footing momentarily. George Marsh. Still lifted the FA Cup and departed with silverware. Good ball towards Parrott, but it will later.
He'd be delighted when that announcement was made that manager had come in. Obviously he wants to establish himself.
Yeah, the referee lets it go because it breaks favourably for Heung-min Son. Marsh trying to season performances.
You hope so, because there is a player in there, there's no doubt. The frustration is that...
Well defended by Inter. Last couple of minutes of the 90 here.
See a little there.
Back in it goes, too close to Handana.
Just to see how that is interpreted next season, because it does it his hand, it does change the...
And we will go to a penalty shootout to settle this. Penalty shootout then. Tottenham Hotspur to take their turn first with Christian Eriksen. And it's saved by Handanovic.
Leaf, and that's a poor penalty. It looks like he just wanted to get it over.
First kick of the shootout for Inter.
But he's gambled, he knows he's going in. Look how quick he gets there.
Son for Spurs, scores. Huge roar.
He just bends his run to open up the goal. Looks at it.
Up against Gatsanika. And we're all square. It's
can close the foot.
Voodoo for Spurs here. How about that?
There's that, isn't there?
And also scores with a powerful penalty.
Well, wasn't it? Hard and low.
Took over the captain's armband earlier in the game. Toby Alderweireld scores. And
they put all their experienced players
for Inter. Politano picks out the top corner.
That's a penalty to come across the ball.
Stepping up, Oliver Skip from the spot, saved by Handanovic. Kick away. Assumes the responsibility. Up against Gatsanika. João Mario wins it wonderfully well. Kept his composure. Victory on penalties for Antonio Conte. Well, that is that for the first 45.